California, the movie capital of the world since 1912. This gentleman's name is Ralph Faulkner, and he's part of the history of this town. He still walks to work every day at this old-fashioned storefront school, the Falcon Studio, which he and his late wife Edith Jane founded in 1929. The walls of the studio are covered with tributes, awards, and the honors of a lifetime. But 3 days a week, he still gathers the age-worn tools of his trade, as he has every week for over 50 years. At the age of 90, Ralph Faulkner remains Hollywood's most distinguished swordsman and fencing master.
I had not set out to be a fencing master at all. I came to Hollywood to work in movies.
His athletic good looks brought him steady work as a leading man in silent melodramas until an accident on the set left him with a crippling knee injury. Determined to overcome it, he began fencing as therapy. Working 7 days a week, he not only conquered his injury, but went on to win 12 American titles, distinguish himself in 2 Olympics, and take an international championship. His achievements brought new offers from Hollywood, and Ralph began creating movie duels for swashbucklers like Douglas Fairbanks Jr., Ronald Colman, Cornel Wilde, Errol Flynn, and appearing with them in film classics like The Prisoner of Zenda.
I played the part of Bursanen. Douglas Fairbanks was the leading villain. I was the second, and we were always doing dirty work.
But in the midst of a new career, Ralph found less satisfaction swashbuckling on the screen than teaching fencing to the growing numbers of young people who came to the Falcon Studio.
Oh, we were all scared of him. We called him, yes, sir, boss. Yes, sir. You know, it was a feeling that he was the taskmaster. If you didn't do it right, you were more hurt with yourself than with him, because he just believed everybody could be champions.
His belief has been borne out by Polly and the dozens of other regional winners, national champions, and Olympic contenders he has trained and inspired. Today, his classes are still full. People of all ages come, as they have for years, to learn fencing at the hand of the man who taught Errol Flynn.
The old world feeling of integrity and learn what you're doing well and sportsmanship, it's all the same.
This weapon is not a piece of steel in your hand. It's an elongation of your own nervous system.
Let him count, hit the net.
Make that feint steady. Make me think you're gonna hit. Double 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. And take the strain out of that left hand.
His approach is not just to take it from the standpoint of a sport. He takes fencing from the standpoint of an art also.
You have to do it beautifully and with perfect coordination. I suppose I am a bit of a taskmaster, but to get out and make a lot of unswordsmanlike motions is homely. With children, of course, it's a little more playful and a little more fanciful. I tell them that you got one person, that if he can handle that person, he probably will win first place right along. Oh, who's that? I take them over in front of the mirror and I say, beat that person. Then you can handle the other fellow.
This season, Ralph is especially pleased with the progress of his youngest competitor, 9-year-old Ari Klingman.
Before I came to Mr. Faulkner, the only move I knew, and I've watched it on television, was a lunge. And that's it. Mr. Faulkner taught me how to fake them out and know what they're going to do next.
The boy has a great deal of ability, and he's competitive.
If I could beat everybody in the world before, in the next 4 years, that would be great, because then I could go to the Olympics. But I think that'd be awful hard.
He's precocious. He gets a little bit overboard at times, but I'm very fond of the little fellow.
This is an important day for both of them. With Ralph as his coach, Ari represents the Falcon Studio in a tournament to decide the under-14 regional champion.
Well, every time I got it out, he hit my blade, and I thought he was going...
Don't let him hit. That is just it. Don't let him hit your blade. Deceive it. A fencer is not a fencer until he has competed.
Come on, Jeff.
All right, get him now. It's in competition that you apply what you have learned. If you haven't learned it so you can use it, why, you haven't learned anything.
Ari is smaller and less experienced than his opponents, but he's worked hard. With Ralph's help, he could win.
I've thought at times that I influence him just thinking about it. I'll say to myself, stop it, stop thrusting, stop thrusting. they do it. And it almost seems as though I told them to do it. Jumping around, and then you get up there and pull your arm. Get it out. Yeah. Keep your arm out and finish it.
And so a life's work continues as Ralph Faulkner, in his 91st year, passes on the heritage of Hollywood's greatest swordsman and 5 decades of competitive fencers to a new generation. Ari enters the final bout tied for first place. Either he or his opponent will win this trophy. This point against him ties the score.
Oh,
The next one will decide the championship. But his opponent strikes first, and Ari loses by 1 point. Now it's important that someone be there to appreciate what he's accomplished today.
you did very well. Very well. You took third, now you took second. Now the next time you have one, take first. Right?
In second place, from Faulkner's, Ari Klingman.
All right.
It's reward and satisfaction watching people whom I have taught grow and accomplish things as athletes and as people in the world. That's what living is, to do that, to have done it, to look back at it. Old is sometimes thought of as being worn out. Well, maybe I'm worn out, but I still hang to it.
I hit him good, it's just the judges didn't see it.
Real fencer.